हम क्या करते हैं, हमने क्या किया, हमने विजन डिफाइन कर दिया, हमने गोल्स डिफाइन कर दिए, हमने स्ट्रेटजी भी डिफाइन. नाउ वी हैव टू कम अप विद आइडियाज व्हिच फॉल अंडर द बकेट ऑफ स्ट्रेटजी, right? So in order to get those ideas, there are 4 or 5 places which you use through which you can get those methods in those ideas in a very seamless way. The first is customer feedback. सबसे अच्छा तरीका ऑफ डेवलपिंग अ रोड मैप इज टू गेट कस्टमर फीडबैक. उससे बेटर क्या होगा, उससे बेटर तो कुछ है ही नहीं, right? To get very good customer feedback, what is you obviously go to the sales and marketing team, and obviously one of the best sources of feedback is whether the product is working in the right way, who your customers are. So customer feedback ke through you will get the right kind of ideas of what you want to develop. That's why you should stay closer to your sales team, your marketing team, and your operations team. These are the people who interact with customers on day in day out basis, and once they interacted on day in day out basis, they are effectively able to get very good customer feedback which can be taken into features. That's number one. Second, competitive landscape. You check your customer, you check your competitors out. What are they building? If they are building something super interesting, which is very interesting, which people are liking, that is something that you will do. That is the second place you will get very good ideas for developing the product. Third, sales and customer service. Again, these are the people who interact with your customers day in day out. Stay close to them, try to understand, get feedback from them, and you will be able to get very good ideas about what you want to develop next in your releases. Fourth, analyst research. How many analysts are effectively used? Analysts, हम बहुत सारी कंपनीज एनालिस्ट्स को लाती है, यूएक्स एनालिस्ट को लाती है, जो कि ये रिसर्च करते हैं कि हमें क्या बनाना है. That is fourth. Fifth, the fifth and the most important part is analytics and metrics. तुमने खुद भी तो analytics कुछ बनाया है ना. If you have brought some analytics by yourself, evidence is far more compelling, and you will be able to get the right opinion from your data that what feature is working, what feature is not working. And since which feature is working and which feature is not doing well, if you have good data, you will be able to come up with very good ideas about what is working and what is not working. तो मैं फिर से रिपीट करता हूं, कस्टमर फीडबैक, competitive landscape, sales and customer service, analyst research, analytics and metrics. Make sense? Now इन सारे आइडियाज के बाद तुम क्या करोगे, ये सारे आइडियाज तुम्हें मिल गए, you will organize these ideas into themes. Themes, right? What are those themes? Themes are like, for example, तुम्हें customer feedback मिला, login flow खराब है, login flow is not good. Second is I cannot, OTP is not received. Third is that OTP is wrong. For example, let's assume. So the theme here is onboarding. Onboarding की theme में आ जाएगा login flow, OTP validation, OTP addressal. So you will automatically organize these into one theme. And once you will build multiple themes around here, once there are multiple themes, you will get an idea of what is working, what is not working, what is working, what is not working, and you will be able to use these themes to build the product roadmap, right? So क्या करना है, सबसे पहले विजन बनाया, विजन के बाद गोल्स बनाए, गोल्स के बाद स्ट्रेटजी बनाई, स्ट्रेटजी के बाद आइडियाज निकाले इन 6 जगहों से, आइडियाज निकालने के बाद you automatically organize them into themes. Which are important themes which you want to develop on? What are the suggestions for prioritizing? Right? There are 5-6 suggestions that I typically give on prioritizing what is important and what is not important. Number one, regardless of the prioritization method that you choose, here are some approaches. Number one, approach prioritization as a team activity. जब भी तुम्हें कुछ prioritize करना है, तो क्या करो? Go to a whiteboard, put all the ideas there, organize them into themes, right? And go to your team members and say what is important, what is not important. Automatically everyone will start giving points, ticks across every part, and saying this is important, this is not important, this is important, this is not important, this is important, this is not important. And that is something that everybody will do, and you will get a list of ideas which are important, right? Limit the number of items. You should not go with a collection of 1,000 ideas. Go with a collection of 50 ideas, 40 ideas. That is second. That's very important. Third, categorize and group them into themes, जो मैंने बताया, right? Fourth, before you begin prioritizing, it's helpful that you provide some value, that if you are able to say that this is what was importantly said by a customer. A lot of times you create word maps कि ज्यादातर customer ने क्या बात की, right? That is the fourth part. And fifth, देन स्टार्ट डूइंग टी शर्ट साइजिंग. टी शर्ट साइजिंग का मतलब होता है कितना टाइम लगेगा रोड मैप के लिए, कितना टाइम लगेगा एक पर्टिकुलर टास्क के लिए, राइट? सो यू स्टार्ट गिविंग आउट टी शर्ट साइजिंग ऑफ स्मॉल, मीडियम एंड लार्ज, which will be helpful in the process. Number one, approach it as a team activity. It is not an individual activity. Second, limit the number of items which are needed. Third, categorize the items into themes, right? Fourth, then you effectively put across some customer value to all of the parts that you have given, ideas that you've given across. And fifth is that then you do t-shirt sizing of basically small, medium and large, which will be helpful through the process. This is something that you should do while you're doing a roadmap, while you're building a roadmap. Now, there are multiple models through which you can prioritize a roadmap, right? The first model that I typically say is value versus complexity or impact versus ROI, right? That basically अगर तुम एक मॉडल बनाओ where impact is on the x-axis and ROI is on the y-axis, right? So you should effectively be able to choose ideas which are very high on ROI and very high on impact, right? So you use a model in which if you are placing on the x-axis impact, y-axis ROI, choose the features which are high ROI, high impact, right? That is where you can also use the Kano model or the Delight model. Kano model pad lena yaar. It's simple. It's not that hard for you guys to effectively check it across, right? Then the third is buy a feature approach. This is also very, very important. It is the same way you place all the features on the board and everybody will go and effectively pick one feature and give a rating of +1 karke. And story mapping. So paying special attention to the level of effort in planning the roadmap, it is extremely important that you use these kind of models. Impact versus ROI may, if on the x-axis there is impact, on the y-axis there is ROI, so you would be able to take high impact, high ROI. Those are the areas that you should effectively focus on, right? This is very, very important. This is why I first suggested that it is very important that on the impact versus ROI scale, weight every feature, give a rating to a feature so that you are able to effectively understand whether what is the ROI of that particular feature that you want to build, right? So you have to weight each feature in addition to any kind of help that is needed or any kind of structure that is needed to that particular feature, and you should be able to weigh that across on impact versus ROI scale and choose high impact, high ROI. That is very, very important. यहां तक बात क्लियर है? वैल्यू, अच्छा, सो गेमर गैरी ने लिखा है वैल्यू डिसाइड कौन करता है. सर वैल्यू डिसाइड कौन करता है और कैसे करते हैं? So in this, what you typically do is you go to the customer feedback and try to understand which feedbacks every customer has spoken about, or majority of the customers have spoken about. The highest feedback that a particular feature is getting, you typically give it 10, and then you weigh it accordingly: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So based on the frequency of feedback, you give the weight, and it is लॉजिकल. ये मतलब कोई वैसा नहीं होता कि इट इज मैथमेटिकल, इट इज प्योरली लॉजिकल कि इफ आउट ऑफ 10 customers 8 customers have spoken about a particular thing, I will give it 10 out of 10. So that is how. So it's a roadmap activity is not a mathematical activity, it's a logical activity, right? Since it's a logical activity, most of 90% of your roadmap is based on a logic that you have developed. It's not something that you have to be very, very focused कि नहीं यार वैल्यू 10 की जगह 9 दे दूं तो क्या हो जाएगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. It is not very. So that is exactly what I would suggest. You will try to give the highest value to a particular feedback which is very spoken very highly in number. The next part is how to write effective PRDs. The best PRDs are key to effective communication on value driven features, both for users as well as the business. The cleaner the PRD, the better its implementation. The better its implementation, the closer you are to execution. The cleaner the PRD, the better the execution. The better the execution, the closer you are to getting the right kind of product for the customers, right? These are very fundamental. PRDs are fundamental to the PM's vision. A PRD is, और एक बहुत बड़ी गलती करते हैं लोग. People think PRDs are product requirement documents. It's not a document, it's a draft, product requirement draft, right? PRDs are always in a work in progress, right? So effectively you जितना अच्छा तुम पीआरडी बनाओगे उतना ही अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बनेगा, उतना ही अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बनेगा. So writing a PRD is extremely essential of becoming a P. Now what I'll do is ना, give me a second, मैं PRD एक शेयर करता हूं तुम सबके साथ. So सबसे पहले तुम PRD में लिखते हो the project name. What's the project name, right? Then you write the problem alignment. What is the problem that you're willing to solve, right? What is the problem? The problem can be improving the sign up flow for makemytrips.com, right? Then you talk about the high level approach, that this is the solution, that I will improve the API capability of makemytrip.com and I will be effectively be able to improve the sign up flow. Then you put across the goals that I put across. These are high level goals, ideally in a priority manner, and these are measurable success metrics. These are highly measurable. You keep it short and sweet. You also write sometimes non-goals. What I mean by non-goals is that if a particular goal is hit, it should not hit some other goal. For example, if you are improving the sign-up flow of Flipkart.com, it should not affect the revenue of Flipkart.com. It's a non-goal. Goals and non-goals. गोल का मतलब होता है what should improve, non goals का मतलब होता है areas which cannot improve or which should not improve, right? Then you put the solution alignment, that what is the solution that effectively should be used, so that it is effectively what is the scope of the solution. And here you write all the features in terms of an itemized feature template के हिसाब से. मतलब basically you will have to write all the edge cases, that starting from if you want to improve the sign up flow, number one you will write improve the API latency by 500 milliseconds. Number two, reduce the fields from 4 to 3. You will write everything in a feature driven manner, that basically what is the flow of the feature. You will write all of those things. Then you will mention the key flows, and you will also give the UI for the key flows. Then you will write the key logic. If there is a logic that you want to run through, that the feature has to be run through, then you will put across the key logic. And the last is the key milestone, launch plan and the key milestones, कि किस दिन क्या क्या रिलीज होगा, कब पायलट रिलीज होगा, कब बीटा रिलीज होगा, कब अर्ली एक्सेस रिलीज होगा, कब लॉन्च होगा. एंड लास्ट में होता है ऑपरेशंस चेकलिस्ट, that basically does analytics need something from you, does sales need something from you, does marketing need something from you, does customer success need something from you, and you will put it across, and then your PRD is ended. And you also put sometimes a change log which says that something has changed in the PRD. So that is something that you will do. So you will start by the problem alignment, high level solution, the narrative, the goals, the non-goals, the solution alignment where you will write the feature level requirement, then the key flows, key logic, and the launch plan or the key milestones that you will put across, and an operations checklist. That is extremely important for writing a great PRD. Timelines and roadmaps are two different concepts, but why do business always combine timeline with a roadmap? Can you help us understand the difference and correlation? See, roadmaps definitely are different. These are very different, and timelines are not part of the roadmap. They are generally given in a very systematic manner कि business को क्या चाहिए. So generally business decides कि in the next 3 months what you want, and that is something that is extremely important, right? But जनरली रोड मैप के साथ टाइमलाइंस नहीं होती हैं. रोड मैप के साथ हमेशा ये होता है कि हमें 6 महीने में क्या अचीव करना है, हमें 12 महीने में क्या अचीव करना है. इट इज गिवन इन अ वेरी स्ट्रक्चर्ड एंड इन अ वेरी थॉट ड्रिवन मैनर कि हाँ यार ये होना चाहिए इन द नेक्स्ट 6 months टू अचीव अवर गोल. क्योंकि बिकॉज टाइमलाइंस तो आई जाएंगी ना स्ट्रेटजी के साथ. स्ट्रेटजी कभी भी तुम 1 साल 2 साल की बना रहे हो तो तुम्हें तो लॉजिकली यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट इट इज ऑलरेडी टाइड टू अ टाइमलाइन. बट at a task level it's not. So just to tell you, in an overall broader sense, yes, timelines are there, but in a task level it's not. So there is no correlation. The correlation is only at a broader level. Taruna has written how to prioritize a feature of a product that is being used by other enterprises. It may be valuable for one and not for other. Very true. Very true, Taruna. It can be so that some company has developed a feature which is not important for our company. That's why it's not the single most criteria. There are 6 criteria that I talked about: competitive advantage, then analyst research, analytics and metrics, customer feedback. You take all of them into account, prioritize them in a value versus complexity way or impact versus ROI way, and then choose it across that whether that is valuable or not. There are n number of videos on the channel where I've talked about the impact versus satisfaction quotient. Just go through it and you will be able to understand that how to select a particular feature. Awesome. Thank you, folks. Super lovely. Bye bye. Please like the video. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Take care.